I luckily I didn't know Iranians in this country, or in this city at least, were known to be affluent. I really didn't.
Hmm.
It wasn't until like a little bit later I found, I was like, oh, these, Iranians do well in this city. But in fact, that more just inspired me, to be honest. Like I was like, okay, cool. See, like people don't care.
Yeah.
Um, Although it's not true, people do care, because like, we still experience, like we'd go to soccer games back in the days in the 80s, early 90s, and there was still people like waving, like Iranians go home and stuff like that, like sort of
Hmm.
like and it was, still after the whole Iran hostage crisis, and so there was still a lot of like animosity. But um another thing is that I don't pretend that my videos are anything more than they are. They're just little silly ass videos. I'm a grown ass man. I'm making on my freaking couch with shitty sound, and then I edit them on a fucking iMovie, and then I put them out on Instagram, a free account. So it's like I never am trying to be like I'm nothing more than just sort of like that.
Yeah.
Uh, in those, I mean, at least my videos, like I have a lot of pride in. I mean, I have pride in my body of work in the videos too, but like the work that I've really put in my life is in my live shows, and like TV and film and whatnot. So I'm not very high and mighty about my videos. My thing is like, hey, it's a minute of your time. If you like it, great. Please, follow me, like, comment if you can. If you don't like it, it was a minute of your time.
Yeah.
Like that's, and no hard feelings. That's kind of how
No,
I feel about
there's
it.
8 billion other people that you could follow. But yeah, so
Sure, sure.
speaking of you being not taking your videos too seriously and stuff, one thing that I noticed is that you're very open about marijuana, weed, joints, and all that stuff. So tell me if at any point you felt a little bit of apprehension now that you're like kind of thrusted into the Persian demographic, that like, ooh, should I tone shit down now? Like, because I love smoking weed and it makes me feel relaxed or creative or whatever. Like, whatever your reason is kudos to you. But did you ever have apprehensions about posting anything about weed? Because you actually made one video that was, putting it right out there, which was, kind of like avant-garde.
That's what I was going for. Just pure avant-garde. No, no. So here's the thing. The truth is, yes, I have scaled it back in videos, because as more people have seen it, I've gotten a lot of different videos from people whose kids are sort of like imitating some of the characters are doing, and then they send it to me and say, hey, look what my son was doing from
Mm,
watching the video. And then when I started seeing that, and I have a special affinity for children, so like when I started seeing that, I just didn't really feel comfortable putting it out there like that. And
right.
or I if I find the thing is, I also don't want to limit myself, so I might find a way of just, if I can find a way of just sort of like almost letting parents know, like, hey, this particular video might not be appropriate for your
Right.
kid. You might not think it's appropriate.
Right.
I would like to do that, because I do want to just, because that, I smoke weed. I'm from LA. It's legal. I'm a grown man. It relaxes me. It helps me with sleep. I don't abuse it, because I'm just not that kind of person.
Yeah.
And
Actually, why don't you share like any kind of medical benefits that you, or medicinal benefits? Like, tell us like all the good stuff that you get from smoking weed.
well, I tell you, nothing helps me with like falling asleep like weed. Like there's been times in my life where I didn't smoke and I had awful time falling asleep. And what was I exercise, I'm doing everything I can, but it still can't. There are still these periods where I would experience not being able to fall asleep properly, or I would wake up like 80 times in the middle of the night or something. Um, and when, from anybody who's tried some of these prescription drugs to fall asleep, they make you feel freaking weird, and you have weird ass dreams, and I just didn't like it. So, but weed is the one that's consistently helped me fall asleep in a way that doesn't feel I'm being drugged. I feel like I'm just, you get tired and then you fall asleep, and it just feels like a more of a normal sleep pattern. Um, Another thing is just it relaxes me. It's one of the only thing that can really, other than exercise, just really relax me if I'm tense or stressed out about something. I don't really like to some people like to quote unquote self-medicate themselves with alcohol if they'll have a few drinks when they're stressed out. I'm not that. I like drinking, but for social fun reasons, not
Mhm.
to get rid of stress.
Right.
Because alcohol is it's a depressant, and so like you might feel fun, you're having fun Friday night, but Saturday you're feeling like crap.
Oh, it's
And so
horrible.
weed doesn't do that to me. And so the decisions I make with weed have really been based on, outside of just obviously like recreational use, like
Mhm.
it has a true medicinal and healthy
Benefits.
benefit for me in my life. And everybody's different. You know, some people get anxiety from it. Some people, it takes their anxiety away.
I'm not. I'm
Some
not.
people
I'm not.
get, yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, man. There was a part of me that wanted to have an Elon Musk, Joe Rogan moment with you. You know, where we just kind of like light up a joint and we just kind of, break a little bit of the stigma that's around Persians and weed and stuff. You know, but I held
uh,
back.
yeah. Man, then we got to do that another time because I got one right next to me. And we can get, we can get going right away. Yeah, that's another thing. It's like this because now that I have like because I've had like people that are a little bit older and people that are younger watching these videos.
Mm.
I guess the sort of the Iranian part of me comes out where it's like, well, you know what, and then like I don't know. I want to find a way to do that maybe a little bit more responsibly, simply because just I don't know if there's kids
I get
watching.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, I get it, man. I mean, like, I could see how that's kind of hard, especially Persian. We're family oriented. If there are aunts and uncles that are sending these cute little videos or whatever, like, man, that's very respectful of you to kind of like tone it down, I guess, or not let it supersede anything, I guess, you know? So I feel you on that
yeah.
one.
Well, the thing is, I was kind of like, just okay. What am I losing if I don't do that? If I don't bring it in, I don't think I'm losing much. You know what I'm saying? I can't subjugate myself. I can't hold myself back. I
Yeah.
think as someone like the creator or whatever, it doesn't feel right. But in this case, I thought it was something I could hold back. You know, and hey, if I ever get a fun idea and I want to do something with it, I'll do it. But I'll certainly think of what's the most responsible way to get it out there without, my biggest, I'm not worried about what adults say. Because if 2021, you're still thinking about weed like if your animal is smoking opium, but is complaining about weed, then I think the priorities are mixed up. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like, I'm not worried about what the grown adults think. Like, I don't have that part of me that's like worried that like I lose face in front of Iranians or in front of anybody,
Right.
like I'm very transparent for the most part with who I am, what I do. And, uh, so like, I'm more worried about kids, I guess that's the best way to say it.
I do feel like you're very comfortable in your skin and who you are at this stage in your life, and just keep on being genuine, authentic like you are. And I'm sure that those who are meant to connect with you, they will, and those who aren't, they can.
Thank you, man.
It's not for everybody. Awesome, people. I appreciate you watching this segment. To watch the full video, which you should, please click up here. And then if you want to join our text community, the number is right about here. And even though you don't need no reminders and you've heard it a billion times, if you like the video, subscribe, hit the little ring of ding-a-ding-ding bell so you can be notified for our next video. Thank you so much and appreciate you watching. Awesome, people.